Hello and welcome. My name is Kamoye Benjamin. In today's session, I want to talk to you about panic to poise. These are hacks, mindset hacks to navigate fear. If you've ever felt thrilled by fear, if you've ever felt, frozen when you felt fear, you are not able to stand up and speak in front of an audience. You are not able to articulate your idea in front of, a power authority hierarchy. I want you to know exactly what you can do to move from panic to poise. Welcome to Peak Performance Secrets. My name is Kamoye Benjamin. If you're tuning in for the very first time, I identify as a peak performance coach. And what that means is that I come alongside individuals and teams as well, help them deploy them at the optimum mindset and skill set in order to create more, whatever more represents, whether it's more impact, more income, more decisiveness, assertiveness, awareness, boldness, confidence, more. There is more for you. And that's why I have these sessions every single day to support you to move towards creating more, whatever more represents in your life. So, three things I want to talk to you about very quickly in the next 15 minutes. I'm going to be out of your way. And it's one, understand how fear is your friend. Is fear your friend? Let's talk about that. Number two, how do you create a meeting with fear? I'm going to walk you through four steps to actually create a meeting with fear. This is actually what I mean by facing fear. Pros, people who perform at peak performance levels, regardless of which industry they are in or what circumstance they are deploying them in, they've mastered this aspect about fear. And you want to understand how to create a meeting with fear. At the first instance, it might be just like you're learning it, but the goal is for you to achieve mastery and be able to, in a span of less than 15 seconds, be able to master that moment to create a meeting with fear, decode the message from fear, and move forward and thrive in whatever it is that you're trying to create. And then finally, I'm going to share with you two questions to ask fear in any meeting. Are you ready? Let's get into it. Number one, fear is an emotion. Fear is an emotion. At the base, at the foundation, at the core, fear is an emotion. That's it. Like happiness, sadness, disappointment, anger. Fear is just an emotion. And what is an emotion? An emotion is a signal. I love this. This is the work of Dan Siegel, and he said an emotion is a signal. A signal to do what? A signal to take action. You've got different emotions that you can see on the screen, and those emotions communicate to you something, and that is a signal for you to take action, to be excited, to be happy, to freeze, to fight, to flight, whatever that may be in the particular situation. At the core, fear is an emotion, and an emotion is a signal to take action. The way these signals are communicated to your body, they're communicated to you through electrical charge and chemical charge dropped into your system. And that feels some kind of way. Feeling is a word that we created to define an emotion. I feel sad. I feel happy. I feel angry. I feel, and we're using that word, a feeling, to describe an emotion. Now, there's so much to learn about emotions, especially when you look at the emotion wheels and the intensity levels of each of those emotions. Some homework for us on another day to talk about. But what I want us to dive into is, how is it my friend? How is fear my friend? Yes, I know it's an emotion. Yes, I know it's a signal to take action, but how is it my friend, considering that it grips me in a way and my heart begins to beat faster, my palms sweat, my mouth becomes dry, my brow, my eyes dilate. I feel like I've been hijacked, I've been gripped. People have used that word literally, hijacked by fear. It's like taken over against your will. How is that a good thing? How is that my friend? Look at it from this perspective. If you look at this German Shepherd, these dogs are known for many capabilities, and one of them is security. The thing about this German Shepherd is that they have heightened levels of intelligence. They also have heightened levels of, sense, of smell. And that's why they are used in the spaces that you're used in by the different security operations in different parts of the world. And so when you're looking at these guys who are walking around with this dog, with this German Shepherd, they actually are using it as a tool. They're using it as a resource. They're using it as a partner. They're using it to gather signals, to receive information that they ordinarily are not able to pick up as human beings. For those of you who probably have either had a dog at home to watch out for your investments, property, and your valuables, you know one thing. You want that thing to bark when there's an enemy. You want that thing to bark when there's an intruder. The question that I have for you is, imagine a warning system that didn't alert you of a threat. Pretty unfortunate, right? A warning system that does not alert you of a threat is not your friend. A warning system that does not alert you about an intruder coming in, that's not a friend. And so when you look at it from this angle, that fear is a signal that is initiated into our system when we become conscious and aware of a threat. The notification that comes to your conscious awareness of the threat makes fear your friend. That is what makes fear your friend. And so that's the first and most important thing to notice, that, hey, guess what? Every time I feel fear, this emotion has come to serve me. I'm obviously not talking about phobias. I'm not talking about, circumstances where people have got mental unwellness and they're hallucinating. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about you being healthy and whole, moving forward in the direction of your dreams to create what you know is possible, and in the process of getting there, you're hijacked. I'm afraid. What if I invest the money? What if I go in front of the audience to speak and make this? I'm afraid what's going to happen, and fear grips you. That chemical dump and electrical charge that has been released into your system, as we're saying, number one, is a signal. And it's a signal for you to do what? To take action, to freeze. As people who go on stage, they forget their words, they forget their lines, they're frozen. Fear has hijacked them. Or you fight, or you flight. It's a signal to take action. And what I want you today in today's session is to learn, how do I navigate the fear? How do I face the fear? I'm looking at this dog right here, and this thing looks so rabid, like it's about to bite somebody. And that's what fear wants you to do. Fear wants to get your attention, like, hey, Benjamin, you're close to the edge of a building and you're going to fly off. And when you fall, you will die. I cannot help you. When I'm in the plane and sometimes, we're going through the clouds and a bit of turbulence, my heart kind of beats and I feel the fear, but I navigate and I manage myself. What is this image of this dog? More like the fear within me trying to tell me, it's trying to tell me, Benjamin, I need your attention. You are not safe. Not safe. I need you to do something. And that is what fear does to us. But the key idea is recognize that this emotion, sorry for the typo here, this emotion exists to serve you, not the other way around. You don't exist to serve this emotion by doing what it wants. This emotion exists to serve you by causing you to be conscious and aware of a threat. And therefore, action is required on your part. You, not the emotion, is in charge. And so if we're going to face fear, that's the first thing you've got to realize. One, fear is my friend. Two, this emotion exists to serve me. Three, I am in charge. It's not in charge. And that takes us to the place where we can begin to move from panic to poise. From panic to poise. Panic to poise. I'm going on stage, I'm picking up my microphone, I can see the entire crowd, and I pick up that signal within me. Woo! Never been here, never done this before. How do you, with mastery, catch that emotion and move into poise? Here's what I want you to recognize very quickly. In order for you to move from panic to poise, is that okay? You need to create a meeting with fear. You need to create a meeting with fear. This requires using our intellectual faculties, and there are three. The first one is imagination. The second one is perception. And the third is reason. We have 6 intellectual faculties. If you've never come across this information, I do cover it in one of my courses. Jump onto my YouTube channel and look at the 6 powers of man. The 6 powers of man is something that I talk about, the 6 intellectual faculties, and they are imagination, perception, will, intuition, reason, and will. 6 intellectual faculties that allow us to use this powerful engine that is tucked between our ears. You probably are conversant with the physical senses. The physical senses is sight, smell, taste, touch, hearing. Are those 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Touch. Okay, and those 5 physical senses allow us to navigate the physical environment, the spaces we're in. I can smell, I can hear, I can taste, I can see, and I can touch. That allows me to navigate the physical environment. But because we are not just physical as human beings, we're spirit, we've been gifted with an intellect, and we move in a physical body. The physical body allows me to connect with the physical environment. The intellectual faculties allow me to master and navigate the intellectual space and to make use of that in the creation process. And so these intellectual faculties are important. And today I just want to talk to you about how to use the 3 when you are creating a meeting with fear. So here we go. 4 steps to create a meeting with fear. Number 1, you've got to create a theater in your mind. Fear does not so much exist externally as it exists internally. In the inner game is where you're becoming aware of fear. In your inner game is where the chemical dump and electrical charge is being released into your system. And so if you're going to work on yourself in order to navigate fear, you've got to create this theater in your mind. What is a theater in your mind? A theater in your mind is using your faculty of imagination to create a setup and a scenario where you can act out a movie. It's a theater where you can act out a role. It's a theater where you can meet with other characters that you create in your mind. And so you're using the faculty of imagination. Hey, this is not new for you. You've used this mental faculty before. Think about it. When you are traveling and you are going to be away for 5 days from your house, and you needed to pack a suitcase with the clothes. On day 3, you had a meeting with a key decision maker. On day 4, you are going to be going swimming, and so you'd be on the beach and you'd be meeting with your friends. On day 5, you'd be going for a formal dinner, and you needed to have a formal dress and attire. And so what do? You go into your wardrobe and you open your wardrobe and you begin to think about Friday, where am I going to be? On Thursday, who am I meeting? On Tuesday, on Wednesday. And based on that future travel, that imagination, you pull out clothes from your closet based on how you want to see yourself on that day. And you pack those clothes in your suitcase, though you're not wearing them immediately, but you can already see yourself. You're using the mental faculty of imagination. And so what you want to do is you're using that mental faculty to create a theater in your mind. And in this theater, step number 2, you're going to set 2 seats and a table. One for you and the other for fear. I'm talking about the 4 steps to create a meeting with fear. You're facing your fear. Your fear has gripped you. It has told you you cannot do this, or you need to run away, or you need to freeze, or you need to fight, and you want to select an appropriate action. And so what do? Create a theater in your mind. And this, as I have done it in many times, I use this practice, I literally close my eyes, and that blocks my physical world from interfering with the theater that I'm creating in my mind. And what I do next is I set up a table and I picture myself, visualize myself sitting right there on one table, and I invite fear into the other seat at the table. Flow with me. Step number 3. I invite that voice of fear. You see, when fear comes to you, it comes with a message. It comes to tell you something. It comes to tell you that you are not enough. It comes to tell you that you don't have enough. It comes to tell you that you need to take off. It comes to tell you that things are going to go bad. It comes to tell you that you're going to die. And that voice grips you. It wants to get your attention. It holds you by the collar and says, Benjamin, I demand that you get my attention right now. And so instead of being hijacked by fear, I want you to master how you can invite that voice of fear and ask it to sit. Think about it. How many minutes, how many seconds or microseconds do you think it would take for you to master this by learning how to create a theater in your mind? Set 2 seats and a table and invite fear to speak. And then number 4, tell it that, hey, I have heard you and I thank you for the alert. Now, that is a simple way to create a meeting with fear. The meeting has already happened. Again, I remember, like we said, I'm going to take you back there very quickly. This emotion is not in charge. You are the one who is in charge. And so by being in charge, what you're doing is you're calling it. And the 2 questions that I want you to ask it are this. Are you here to serve me or to sabotage me? This information you're telling me that, oh, this is going to hurt, oh, this is going to, or whatever it's telling you. Is it there to serve you or to sabotage you? Do you know there are times that the fear comes and the message that it has for you is to sabotage you? And the message is there to sabotage you based on the limiting beliefs that you currently hold about yourself based on the circumstances that you're in. You know, fear is developed as we're growing through life. The associations that we make communicate to that part within us that is responsible for keeping us alive that this is not safe and that is not safe. And so if you're going to stand in front of a audience to speak and you have your microphone and everybody's looking at you clueless and you're beginning to make meaning in your mind about what's going on and the associations, fear has gripped you. And in that particular moment, whatever it's trying to yell at you and tell you, Benjamin, you know what, it's going to be a bad day for you because nobody likes your presentation today. You don't know what you're talking about. Look at all the audience. That guy is sleeping. That one is zoned out. People are going to the washroom. You're doing a very bad job in this presentation. And fear grips you. But it has not come to serve you. It has come to sabotage you. It's speaking from the database of your limiting beliefs. It's anchored on those limiting beliefs. And in another session, I teach you and guide you how to navigate your narratives and how your narratives create your identity, how your identity impacts your self-concept and how your self-concept impacts the way that you show up in life. But for today, there are 2 questions we want to ask fear. Are you here to serve me? Because if you're here to serve me, give me the message. But if you're here to sabotage me, I have something to tell you. I have a response for you. Never remain silent when fear speaks to you. Never remain silent when fear speaks to you. You validate it when you say nothing. You validate it. You give it legitimacy. You give it power when it speaks to you and you say nothing. You see, at this point, I'm believing that you're operating from a heightened level of awareness and you're seeing yourself and catching yourself, and catching the voices that fear is bringing to you. And you're like, you know what? That's not true of me. That's not true of me. I like something. My wife always does this. She'll probably hear a song, a great song from an artist, and the artist is saying, "I am suffering." She will never repeat those lyrics. She's like, "I'm not suffering." No, that's not mine. That's not my portion. Absolutely love that because she's operating from a heightened level of awareness. Say, wait a minute, that does not in any way resonate with my conditioned circumstances and the higher truth of who I am, whose I am, and where I am in my life. And so noticing those kind of lyrics and saying, no, no, no. And she's gonna sing the song, but she's gonna change all the lyrics. I am thriving. And enjoy the song as everything is happening. Not for now. But I hope you get the point that I'm trying to pass across. That when this voice that is within you speaks, you need to question. Are you here to serve me or are you here to sabotage me? In the instance that it's there to serve you, it's going to tell you, hey, Benjamin, your calendar is overbooked and I don't think that you're going to pull this off. Benjamin, you haven't prepared enough for tomorrow's speaking engagement, and I'm not sure that I feel anxious about tomorrow. I feel fearful about going into that place. And this is not just for fear, but for every other emotion. Bring it into a meeting and say, hey, are you here to serve me or to sabotage me? And you quickly tune into that. And you can do that in microseconds. And you're like, you're here to sabotage me. Boom, deal with it. Or you're here to serve me. Receive the message. Thank you so much. I've received your message. I appreciate that. Come back tomorrow. And please don't sabotage me in the middle of a conversation. And then you ask it, what do you need me to watch out for? If it's there to serve you, you will have this answer immediately. What do you want me to watch out for? What do you want me to be on the lookout for? Okay, I got you. I understand. Great. These are the two questions to ask of fear, but it comes from the awareness and understanding that number one, fear is my friend. It's not my enemy. Fear is here to serve me, not mainly to sabotage me. And if it's here to sabotage me, it's definitely anchored by, in my inner game, in my assumptions, in my limiting beliefs that do not reflect what my reality is and what my awareness is about my giftedness and my potential of who I am and whose I am in this season of my life. And you've got to nip that in the bud. You got to nip that in the bud. And by creating that meeting with fear, you're able to navigate and get out of the loop. This is what peak performers do. And that is what I do is to support teams and individuals to deploy themselves at the optimum mindset in order to create more, whatever more represents for them. More confidence, more boldness, more assertiveness, whatever more represents to create whatever it is that you want. Try this hack and let me know how it's going to serve you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Again, Kamoye Benjamin, a peak performance coach helping individuals and teams. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube and you're watching this, I'd request you to do that. And also, click that bell so that you get notifications of some of these short snippets. I call them peak performance secrets, and they're going to really help you. They have helped me in my own life. There's strategies that I use to, hack myself into the mindset and the skill set to create more, whatever more represents for me. Blessings, be well, and bye for now.